I'm a wallflower.
Hey everybody, it's the Freaking Film Critic here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the hip adaptation of the young adult novel,
Fuck you!
The Perks of Being a Wallflower. So The Perks of Being a Wallflower follows Charlie, a disturbed teenager who's starting his first year of high school and is having trouble making any friends. Literally, any friends. He's more of a loser than I am currently. Of course, this is only at the beginning of the film though, because he ends up befriending a group of kids that consists of a manic pixie dream girl played by Emma Watson, whom he falls for actually, and her gay brother, played wonderfully by Ezra Miller. Oh, and a bunch of stereotypical hipsters are thrown in there too. Now that he has friends, I guess he's not a loser anymore, right? Alone again! Yep. The film was written, directed, produced, and executively produced. That's right. By the author of the book himself, Stephen Chbosky, whose book I did read a few years back for summer reading, just in case you were wondering. Which means that he was in charge of bringing what he intended the book on being to the screen. And boy, am I glad that what he envisioned was better than what I remembered reading, because oh my god, I really did not like that book when I was reading it. Oh my god. Sorry about that. At times I turn into a robot. No, I don't remember enjoying the book all that much. I remember it being very full of itself and very just pretentious as a whole, and I didn't care for it. And while the movie at first started to feel the same way as the book did, you know, thinking it's cool for having indie bands like the Smiths in their soundtrack and having people rock out to Bowie in tunnels, it gradually became more of a film that focused more on Charlie's psyche and what was going on in that head with indie cred. Would you look at that? I should be a rapper, yo! And what it's like being a teenager, when everything you do feels much more important than it actually is, and the smallest things in life can have a great impact on you. His character isn't necessarily the type that you might relate to because he's a weird kid with a weird past, but the scenarios that he gets himself into are definitely very relatable. And I always think it's kind of cool to see situations that you're familiar with on screen to know that, you know, hey, you know, you're not alone on this, these characters feel the same way sometimes, and it's just kind of comforting. So in that regard, I think that Chbosky did a good job at creating this portrait of youth. I also admired some of the lengths to which these characters were developed by Chbosky. Specifically the character played by Ezra Miller, who I at times thought was more interesting than Charlie was. He's just so wildly different from all the other characters, and it definitely helps that Ezra Miller gave it his all as his character. Other characters like Sam, played by Emma Watson, who is the manic pixie dream girl with a dark past, seemed to be a little bit darker than it needed to be, just for no reason other than to say, oh look at us, we're getting darker now, and it didn't really seem to fit in there. I thought the film worked better when the characters were placed in scenarios that were just naturally dark, and not when they felt very forced and shoehorned in there, especially the ending, the twist with Charlie and his aunt. It was, I don't know, didn't feel right. As for the performances, I already mentioned Ezra Miller, but Logan Lerman, I was surprised that he was actually able to carry this film on his back. He was pretty damn good in this. Towards the end of the film, he really had his time to shine, and he ended up bringing a tear to my eye because of how good he was. It's a long story. I was on my period. Emma Watson also did a pretty good job for whatever screen time she did have. She didn't really stand out or anything like that, but, you know, she was fine. The overbearingly melancholy scenes and the self-praising attitude towards the beginning that the film had were the only downfalls for me with this. I thought it was extremely enjoyable and sweet to watch. It's definitely got a lot of heart to it, and I like that it ultimately felt like a movie about relationships and the friendships that we established when we're younger. It's pretty great, and I'd highly recommend it. If anything, for the indie cred. It works better if your name is Fred. I mean, am I the notorious VIC or what? It's really sticking with me, and I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. Goddamn. If you like this review and you want to see more reviews from me, click that little button up there that says subscribe. That'd be pretty cool, and I would know, because I'm not just cool.
A flower! A wallflower!